Yash. So I noticed some of the videos I made on spirituality and how that relates to semen retention and how semen retention helps to increase your spiritual awareness. I noticed those videos did okay. So I'm going to make more because that's really what I want to talk about, you know. And I wrote some things down so I don't miss nothing again. All right. First, this is automatic. A person can't preserve their semen or their sexual energy if you're a woman. You can't be doing that and not experience any kind of, you can say, shift in consciousness or higher spiritual awareness. It's impossible because of the prana. See, when we're conserving, the sexual energy is full of prana. I mean, it creates babies. It creates human beings. So it must have some very potent ingredients in there, right? So if we're preserving that and not just wasting it because we're trying to escape some, you know, emotional turmoil or we want a dopamine hit. I mean, there's such better ways, man. If you want to escape some pain or if you want to get a dopamine hit, find another way to do that. Don't waste your energy, your most powerful energy. You see? If you gotta, you know, you need to, you know, life's hard, I understand, but just find another way. Don't lose your energy. But if you do and you relapse, that's also all right. It's part of the program. So this will happen automatic now as far as this increased spiritual awareness. But the timeline's different for you know, it's not the same for everybody because we're individual beings. We have our own individual karma, and it's like the more personal desires we have, the more you can say trapped we are in this level of creation, and you really believe this is what I am, this body, and it needs to survive and achieve, and then you get caught up in all these different ways the life can lure you into a new ambition. You know, there's millions of things that we can like strive to do and be, and you can just get lost in that whole world of being something and creating something. Now those who don't have that, see, I used to have that. I was super overzealous about like being something and just conquering stuff and all that stuff. So that creates a busy mind. Okay, so the more busy our mind is, I made a video once about having an empty mind. The more empty our mind is, the more that you can say this higher awareness of our true spiritual self is revealed. It just works like that. So that's why I say the timeline's different for the individual, because it depends how full on we are with trying to manifest stuff. But ultimately that's cool too, because what happens is we try everything and see from our own personal experience that this stuff isn't really going to satiate us. And see, preserving our semen will give us the energy to go do everything we want to do. That's the good part. So you can't miss, you know. It's all good. When we preserve our sexual energy and retain our semen, it raises the frequency of our whole being. It's not just physical energy. It raises the vibration of our mental body, our emotional body, everything. We go up, you know. It's like you. I used to have a Commodore 64 computer when I was, I don't know, 10 years old, like 35 years ago, and you see, I got an Apple Mac today, right? It's a big difference. So this is what happens. It's like I got a whole new computer. It's not like I just got a different monitor or a different keyboard. No, I got a whole new computer. So that's what happens when we preserve our semen and conserve our sexual energy. We get a whole new. It's like we're a new person. You know, new mind, new emotional body, new physical body. Not literally, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't just, preserving the semen doesn't just work on one little aspect of ourselves, you know. It's not like I do bicep curls, that's going to work only my bicep. See, semen retention is going to work on everything, just lifts everything up. So then you're going to You're going to vibrate higher because we're conserving our prana. Like this is deep essence life force. See, it's not the same as if you eat a chocolate, some chocolate, and you get some energy. You can call that energy too. It's not solid energy, clearly. This is solid energy. This is, badass stuff. You want to preserve your life force. All right. You start, this is automatic. All this stuff's automatic. This is the good thing, right? It's just all automatic. I like things that are automatic, so I don't have to figure nothing out. I'll just do something, and then all these things become automatic. I like stuff easy and like that. What will happen? We'll start to contemplate like deeper questions, right? Because we got a new computer. We're higher level. We're not just going to be concerned with eating and sleeping and getting drunk and having sex and dying, making money. Like we start to maybe contemplate the existence of like what is this, all this, like what's going on? Like what am I doing here? Like who am I, and what is this, and who are you? And you start to get deeper. What's spirituality all about? And you just start questioning stuff. That starts to happen. There's some beings where that happens. You're a child, and you just start. You just want to ask questions. I used to get in trouble all the time because I asked so many questions. Because I just wanted to know. Like nobody could satisfy me. Because I would ask like existential questions. I wanted some existential answers, but nobody could give them to me. And so they couldn't admit that. They couldn't just be like, hey man, you're asking some deep questions. I don't know the answer. No, their ego would throw it back on me. Like, what's wrong? Why are you asking these questions? And I'd say, oh yeah, maybe there's something wrong with me. Why am I asking these questions? But then later I got older and I realized, no, y'all are ignorant. You can't answer them because you're ignorant. You try to make me feel ignorant, but you're ignorant. And I realized like how this lower mind ego works. Anyway, you'll start contemplating these questions, and then you'll start attracting those who can give you the answers. And it just keeps going from there. These questions get more subtle, more deep, and and you start penetrating into the real essence of life and the essence of who you are, because your spiritual awareness increases, and then you start to get some real inner satisfaction. Start to get some satisfaction that the world can't give you. You're like, damn, the real juice, the real satiation is inside in some way. I can't figure that out, but that's where it's at. And see, so your consciousness just keeps expanding. It gets exponential after a certain point. You just can't stop growing, like a kid. You know how they grow really fast? That's what happens with this. Once you turn a certain corner with the spiritual awareness, it just keeps going. For me, it happened like this. We start doing semen retention, our higher self kind of activates. Got the lower self, the ego mind that just wants to fulfill its sense pleasures and just ride the dopamine wave all the time. You can call that the lower self. Higher self is more like, let me introspect a little bit. Like, are these things I'm chasing really good for me? I notice when I have a quiet mind, there's this kind of uncaused happiness. I think I want to go that direction more than this lower sense pleasure chasing direction. That's an example of like higher self versus lower self. This is the game of life. So what happened for me when I started really got deep into semen retention, higher self started getting activated more. And then you get hooked. You see, you want to go further, because I started preserving semen in my early 20s. I mean, I did it when I was a teenager, just instinctively. I just knew it was good. I'd have sex with my girlfriend. I was like 16, and she'd ask me, "Why didn't you ejaculate?" I said, "I don't know. I just don't want to. I have more energy when I don't." I said something like that. I said, "I don't know." But then in my early 20s, like 22 or something, is when I really started. I just stopped, and I was like, "Damn, this works." But I was still edging. So as the spiritual awareness increases, we start to want to go further. You start doing deeper introspection. You realize the edging is also, you can say, keeping the vibration low. And something inside the higher self, it wants to be full on. It wants to max out in its capacity to be purified, you can say. But without beating yourself up. It's the thing, you see. The lower self, it'll beat you up and say, "Oh, you're not being your higher self enough." That's, again, you got to recognize this self-talk, these voices that aren't true. It's not your higher self calling you an idiot. Higher self, it's chill. It's just saying, just come more, merge more into me. And so then you realize, okay, the edging's actually, I'm losing energy because I'm getting the dopamine hits, and then I crash, and then that starts to weaken the nervous system, and then that, obviously, I lose energy, and then it keeps me stuck in these habits. And the more my mind and attention is stuck in habits, like trying to get female attention all the time, and chasing all that stuff, and looking at things on the internet to try to get a hit, something realizes, okay, when I'm stuck in those addictions, my mind is less quiet. When my mind's less quiet, there's less peace. So I want to correct that. And then that starts that evolutionary journey with that. You're not going to fix that overnight. It's impossible. So you chill. The best balance is you try as best you can, and you chill as much as you can too. That's what you do. And then you'll be successful. Forget about how long it takes. Doesn't matter. You're doing it right now. That's all that matters. You start right now. And that's it. So then at some point, you're going to see, you're like, "Damn, I can't stop this edging." You can't even really stop can't even retain your semen because the habit's so strong. But with the edging, you're really going to come into this at some point, depending on what level. There's different levels with the edging. That's why I don't say edging's a relapse. I mean, come on, you'll never put any streak together at all if you count every little edge as a relapse. So you'll start to see, like, damn, to be free of edging, this is another level. But you've been doing semen retention long enough to where your spiritual awareness is increasing. And so some intuition says, you know what? I need to find this greater power that's greater than this human mind that I've been trying to use to beat the edging. I need to find, like, the source power, because otherwise I can't beat this thing. And so then your attention, your the consciousness starts to evolve and starts to realize, whoa, this is the source power. You can't say, well, you can't tell you where it's at. It's everywhere. But something starts to tune into that because your frequencies got higher. Remember, your computer keeps getting updated. So then you find this power, and you see that's how it works. This is how I'm free of edging, because this power, it laughs at edging. It's like, whatever. How's a girl gonna get, like, this is nothing. Like, we're all consciousness. How are you gonna attract me? You're not even you look like a girl, but you're not a girl. You're consciousness. And I'm playing the role of a guy, but I mean that's just a role I'm playing. You start to see that. It's not a belief anymore. You start to see it. And things still come up, like the tendency of Maya, and which is the definition of Maya is like the what's the definition? It's like the cosmic joke. It's like the game of life. It's not really real, but it has relative realness. I'm not one of those people, oh, nothing's real. No, it's, this stuff feels very real, but you sometimes that gets you sometimes, and you can fall back into a tendency, but you wake up pretty quick. You're like, whoa, that almost got me. And you're even like, cool. I'd like to still feel that once in a while. I like to be got, So you somehow relax with everything. It's not a big deal, but you're in your power. So you can no longer, you can't really mess up too bad anymore because you know your frequency's higher. And then what happens, you start to depend on this source power more with your whole life, because why not? Like, how could you not? What do you want to depend on, your little mind power? Like, you've come into some real power now, so you're like, this is where it's at. it happens very natural, you know, and your perception starts to change, how you view things, how you see things in the world. You don't criticize and have this self-judgment in your mind about yourself or other people. You see, you gotta, once you go through these stages in yourself, automatically your compassion and understanding for other people increases, because we're all the same. The form, the exact specific things might be a little different, but in essence, like, we all got the same struggles and habits. So when you transcend that in yourself, now you're qualified to help other people. And when you speak, you have conviction. The people can sense. They can sense, okay, he's been through it. They don't formulate that thought, but they can just tell. Like, you know, if you go to somebody and you want advice for something, you know who knows and who don't. Even if they all say the same thing, you're like, I don't believe you guys, but I believe you. So you start to have that because you've passed through the stages, you've done the work, you've evolved. You see, it's like you're looking through new eyes. You because your computer, you know, your computers, you got a new computer. Your hard drive has been updated. You just see things. Everything's different. The colors are better and more vivid, and just everything's cool. You see people in a different way. You understand, like, man, we're all just trying to do the best we can. Even those with strong egos, you realize, yeah, I understand. I know what that is. I used to be like that. That's why, like, there's only, you know, my channel, I feel fortunate. I don't get a lot of dumb stuff, like comments, like people who are just miserable, and then they see like I'm not, and then you guys that are higher level and you leave comments, they see that you're not, and they get jealous because something in them wants to experience that. See, I understand that, so I can't really get mad at somebody who's going to try to leave a comment to shake me up. I don't take it personal. I instantly see my previous self in that person. I'm like, damn, they're suffering, you know. But sometimes if it gets too much, I'll just have to kick them off the channel, you know, because it lowers the vibration. I don't want to, but I'm just saying, you know. So you get like that, like, you just don't take things personal. But sometimes if you do take something personal, you don't take that personal either. Isn't that cool? Like, whoa, I just got personal, but whatever, I don't take it personal. That lets you come out of it quicker. You become more universal, not personal, because your spiritual awareness increased. Let me know how that video worked if you want to see more on these spiritual topics. And then those that do, go to my other channel, Spiritual Renaissance, because that's all I talk about. I get deep, sometimes too deep. Not really. All right, have a good day.